No, don't. I need you in the frame. I need. Hey guys, welcome back to me pretending to know what I'm doing on camera for YouTube. I guess right off the bat, I gotta say, holy I started uploading maybe a little over 2 weeks ago, and we're already past 10,000 subscribers. I set 10,000 as the first goal because I thought that's like a realistic goal to set that I assumed was gonna take me like months, and we did it in 2 weeks. Yeah, so thank you guys for that. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do this for like ever. I've just never actually sat down and tried to make YouTube videos. I just had a remix for Tokyo Machine come out on Monstercat last week, and I've had a lot of people in the DMs and in the comments asking me about the sound design, asking me to break down how I made the drop. I figured I might as well just do a video on it. So pretty much today I'm gonna just kind of open up the project file and show you guys what I did to make that the weird sounding drop that's in that song. So since technically this is an educational video, I just need to do a quick wardrobe change real quick, and then we'll get started. That's better. Now I know some of you are gonna make jokes about how this outfit makes me look more like a registered sex offender than it does a teacher. You know, that I probably drink warm skim milk and watch Will and Grace on DVD every night while laughing so hard at the jokes that I spill the skim milk on my one piece of furniture in my studio apartment. Go ahead, I've heard them all. I'm the cool teacher. I'm that chill professor that all the kids vibe with. That laid back teacher that people want to hang out with, you know. The kids invite to their parties and stuff. Like hypothetically, like if you were to have a party and you wanted to invite me, like I'd have to check my calendar, but like I might come. I'd probably show up. With that said, class is now in session. I have a couple rules. First off, no talking. Second, no texting. Put your phones away. I don't want to see any texting. I don't want to hear any text notifications. Any questions? Shut up. Everybody open up your FL Studios. If you showed up to class with Ableton, I don't know what to tell you. Just get it the together. Hey guys, just a little bit of producer humor there. The following techniques can be applied to any DAW you're choosing, so don't click away just yet. And if you do use Ableton, that's great. It's a fantastic piece of software. But I would also strongly suggest reevaluating your life choices. So I just have to find the project file. Okay, it's open. So here we have the song. Today, we're only going over the drop. The intro, I really didn't do too much. It's mostly just the original song, but the drop, that's where things get interesting. Don't pause. All right, so let's break this down. At the moment, the finished product contains 2 separate audio files that I rendered out and stacked over each other. So I can't really show you what I did just from the audio file. Right now, just gonna drag these over here and we'll come back to them later. So here we just have the drop without any sounds. Don't pause. Press play. Just a nice little chunky sub bass. I think a lot of you are gonna be surprised at just how simple this really is. This serum patch right here is the bass core of the sound that I used in the drop. Completely on its own, this is what it sounds like. That's it. It's just a little blip, which is why I named it blip, blip, blip. So what I did for this blip, blip is I used this plugin called Portal. So if you don't have Portal, then you didn't read the syllabus, and therefore automatically receive a failing grade. Please exit my classroom. So if you don't have Portal, just open up Steam, go to the store, and type in Portal. And here it is right here for $9.99.
Epic gamer joke. Pranked.
Okay, but no, seriously, I used one plugin on this entire synth, and that is Portal. I'm gonna just sort of reverse engineer how I did this to the best of my extent. I made this remix in a hotel room in San Antonio, Texas, when I was on tour with Sullivan King last winter. It was like a week after I had gotten Portal. I've mentioned this in previous videos. I really don't know what the f I'm doing. I just trial and error, kind of how most of my songs end up, from trial and error, twisting knobs, finding out what works. That's what happened here. You have a bunch of different controls here. The offset, density, size. I also have the grain delay turned off, and I have the size. I have the size right here at 4:1. You have a couple knobs here for adjusting pitch, and you have a bunch of scales to choose from. I have mine turned all the way to the left, which is free tuning, which is kind of like the most smooth. I also have one effect turned on, which is chorus, and that is being controlled by this macro right here. So for starters, let's just play it again without Portal. Now I'm going to turn Portal back on. I also have 2 OTTs on for good measure. So you can, right off the bat here, it's kind of a lower pitch. That's because, as we can see right here, the pitch is turned down. I believe it's like 2.79 semitones or something. If I could just put that back to around 0. So to start this off and show you what the pitch is doing, I'm going to turn the chorus off that we have down here. I'm just going to turn that off so we can hear just what the pitch is doing. This is what it sounds like when it goes down. And this is what it sounds like when it goes up. So now pay attention to what happens when I move the pitch knob. You can kind of hear some resemblance of what's going on in the drop. It's just creating this kind of computer puking garbage sound with like a mixture of birds chirping when you're intensely hungover and you just want them to shut up. Basically, what I did is I just automated the pitch. That's it. So I'm going to pull up the drop here. I'm going to put the pattern that we had used right here. It's one note, F, and it just repeats. Here's the automation right here. You can kind of see the pattern, and if you follow along when I play the drop, then you'll know how the knob is turning.
Don't pause. Press play.
And I'm going to do that once more, and follow along the entire time. I'll zoom in on the automation just so you can get a really good visual representation of what's going on here.
Don't pause. Press play.
So that last part when it's like super chirpy, that's right here. We went all the way up. We went all the way up and then back down to 0. And it created that maniacal, horrifying bird puke sound. So that's the pitch. That's just the pitch doing that. You'll notice when I turn this off right here, this is the density and the size. It creates kind of a very non-rhythmatic just mess, something that you would slip over, like something that needs a wet floor sign next to it. This is what it sounds like.
Don't pause.
So it's crucial to have this on right here. My settings, I just had it on 4:1 and the density on 1/16. And that paired with the pitch on free tuning and the shape right here at 50%. And then all I'm doing is automating the pitch up and down. And that's how I got this effect. And again, I really don't know the science behind it. I'm just kind of explaining what I did in this hotel room in San Antonio, Texas.
Don't pause.
So you notice it sounds a little bit thinner than the final finished product. I also added a chorus down here. And when I turn this on, this is what we get.
Don't pause. Press play.
It adds some width, and who knows what I'm going to say next. Some girth. Basically, I have the depth of the chorus at 58%, the width at 44%, the feedback at 45%, and it's all the way wet. Just the way we like it. I shouldn't be saying these things while wearing this mustache. That chorus gives it that nice like oomph. It lets the sound spread its wings a little bit, so it's able to fly off and go to college and start a family. And that's what you want your synth to do. You don't want it to stay a little baby synth its whole life. You want it to grow up. You want it to move out. You want it to get its first studio apartment. You want it to watch Will and Grace on DVD every night and laugh so hard that they spill skim milk all over their one piece of furniture. That's the goal here. So that's what the chorus is. I didn't add another effect. I didn't mess with any of these mods over here. I was just sitting there, you know, in my hotel room in San Antonio, Texas. And I was like, what does this button do? And I just somehow created this groove just by seriously messing around with the automation and fattening up this tiny little blip of a sound. And as soon as I like got one groove going nicely, I realized, oh, hey, maybe that sounds pretty cool. I'll just repeat that. And that's how I ended up with this right here. So what I did after I had that is I exported to audio. So I got rid of the MIDI here, and then I had Portal 1, which is what I called it because it was basically the first sound that I'd ever made using Portal. So with just the audio of this exact sound that I just played you, it sounds like this.
Don't pause. Press play.
And that was achieved by just a little bit more processing. There's another OTT on this audio to kind of give it some more. And I layered it. That's all I did. I layered it with the exact same sound. This is a little bit quieter than this one. Computer bird chirping noises stacked on top of each other. Bam.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause.
So really, really simple. And that's why I figured it'd be kind of, you know, easy enough to run through this real quick and show you. I think it may be surprising to some of you, but most of the stuff I make is not too overly complicated. It's more so using your imagination and trying to not limit yourself to just using a growly serum patch. You know, it's fun to experiment with this other weird stuff because then you end up getting something that when people hear it, they're like, oh, hey, that sounds weird as but for some reason I like it. And that's how I made a career in music. So I hope that gives a little bit of insight here. This remix is out right now. It came out last week. Shout out to Tokyo Machine for having me do it. Thank you to Monstercat for supporting it. I've made a Twitch channel, but I haven't done anything yet because I'm waiting for a webcam to show up and it's shipping from like Zimbabwe or some I don't know. Every webcam in the entire internet is sold out because everybody is a streamer now, including myself. Whenever that gets here, I'll do some test streams and get that set up. But if you want to subscribe early or subscribe or follow, I have no idea how the Twitch works. I put the link in the description so you can click on that. But if this video helped you, share it with someone. If you have Portal, check it out, enjoy it. It's a fun plugin, and that's it. See ya.
Please subscribe to mine.
I used spirit gum for that mustache. Turns out spirit gum is painfully difficult to take off of an already existing sort of mustache. So please like the video for my pain and suffering. Thank you.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My content sucks and you probably will regret it.